Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up a telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything, any subject issue. But most powerful, you have the opportunity to raise the topic you want. Some people complain that you're monotonous. You're speaking about the same topic. We invite you. You can change the subject matter. Politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, any issue, spirituality, any issue. You can ask questions, you can make statements. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. There is a lot of political issues in the world, from the war in Ukraine and Russia, the drama and effect of Donald Trump. Donald Trump has affected, the policies of Donald Trump have shaken up all country, from South Africa to Israel. Donald Trump has made some outrageous statements that perhaps kept everybody uneasy. I guess even Xi Jinping now waking up 3 o'clock in the morning to see what Donald Trump posts. The compromise have already made in the Panama Canal. Donald Trump claimed that Panama break the agreement. And Panama is already making compromise because of the power of the United States. The United States of America have over 40 million people. China have 1 point something billion. But America consume more goods than China. American is powerful. That's the reason so much people in the world want to run to America. Even Grenadian communists. They never go to Germany and Cuba and Czechoslovakia and Russia. All Grenadian communists gone to America. Only 3 communists we have in Grenada. Chester Humphrey, John Galt, and me. All them other Grenadian communists that wanted to lock up people, that supported Maurice Bishop in castrating people and locking up over 3,000 Grenadians, all of them in America. They're supporting the Democratic Party now. You pick up the telephone and call me. The number is 440-175. One individual said, I think you're complaining only about Deacon. You're not saying good things about Deacon. So for the whole night, I wondering, I promise to say something good about Deacon now. And I wondering what to say. So you could pick up the telephone and call me. Tell me something good and spectacular to say about Deacon Mitchell. I'm not going to say yet that it seems that Deacon have a sugar daddy. He been floating around the world with his photographer, taking pictures in front of the richest man in Africa. And I'm wondering why. Deacon never presented him as a successful businessman. I don't know if he had a meeting with the private sector and the Chamber of Commerce in Grenada. He brought an individual that did not represent any government to be the main figure in our 51 independence celebration. And Deacon walk around with his camera, his photographer, snapping him all about, while he dramatized in front of his sugar daddy. What else he have this rich man for? It's an embarrassment to Grenada. You introduce, if the guy is wealthy, he must be a businessman. I assume he's not involved in drugs and illegal things. If you sell him as a rich man, it could be a drug man. The government should sell Dangote as a successful African businessman. And the first thing they do when they come here is to have him interact and involve and have a meeting with the private sector, so they can change ideas and see how they can benefit one another mutually. But if you just liming around with a rich man and you changing clothes as if he was a model, I am tempted to ask if you get a sugar daddy. We have to be realistic. Somebody have to counsel the prime minister on the model, the methodology, the style. You can't be posing around with a rich man. And you sell him as a rich man. Sell him as a businessman. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, stop this nonsense. Start to sell Dangote as a successful businessman in Africa. If you say he's one of the most successful businessmen in Africa, then we know he must have money. I don't know if he's richer than Mr. Airport. We have a man in Nigeria, Obayo Nzingi, I can't remember his name. They call him Mr. Airport. He owned the most airport in the world. He had interest in the most airport in the world. Nigeria is a very rich country. So if Deacon Mitchell managed to get a rich man, then sell him as a businessman. Don't float around with him as if he's a sugar daddy you got. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, I want to throw some information out there for the people of St. George, Northwest. The political leader, Honorable Emily Pierre, and the parliamentary rep, like Kit Mitchell, will be having a meeting at the Happy Secondary School next Monday, the 17th of February. The meeting starts at 6:30 p.m. Everyone in Northwest are asked to come out. Everyone is asked to come out to listen and to hear the vision and the plan the political leader NNP has to take Grenada forward in the next whenever the next election comes and they'll be victorious. And when they're taking Grenada forward with that vision, not a vision that will help benefit some, but to help benefit everyone in the country. A vision where the poor man benefit, the rich people will benefit. Not a vision that what this present government has. A vision that only the fully package and the friend. So while the fully package and the friend package, they empty in the packet of the poor people going to compete matter. So people can just come out and listen to this meeting Friday the 17th at the Happy Secondary School. Meeting start at 6:30 p.m.
Yes, caller. Thank
They
you.
have a blessed.
Thank you. I believe that if Deacon is selling Dangote as a rich man, I strongly suggest that Dangote give $100 million for the Imani program. The Imani program is the best program that was instituted in Grenada in the last 100 years. It's a good program. It is the best program. So, Deacon Mitchell, ask your sugar daddy Dangote, because you didn't sell him as a successful businessman, to give you $100 million for the Imani program. 3,000 to 4,000 people could benefit significantly from $100 million over the next 5-7 years. You could also introduce technical education in the Imani program. Michael Baptiste would be glad. He's been clamoring for that years. He said the Imani program must have more technical education. You could collaborate with the police, no pay, no gain people, and teach swimming and self-defense. I see some of those women that enjoying themselves exercising, no pay, no gain. It's a good program. Some of them causing accident on the road. But the police could now come and help to teach them swimming and physical and self-defense. Even music could be introduced in that program, because the program is about giving people a second chance. And if you have any doubt about second chance, there is a school in St. John Christian College, St. John Christian Secondary, that was built for a second chance. So, Deacon, ask your sugar daddy to give $100 million for that program. That is one program. He could give a $50 million to teach Spanish in all primary schools in Grenada. Bring in 100 Venezuelans. Bring them teachers. Work maybe with the church to able to get them so you have less money. You're going to spend less money on agents. And bring in 100 Spanish teachers in the primary school, not in secondary school. And over the next 5-6 years, so by the next 30 years, we could have a second language. And ask Dangote to fund that. If he is the richest man in Africa, $150 million is chicken feed. It's chicken feed. You're gallivanting around and floating around. This is an embarrassment. So you could pick up the telephone and tell me something good that this NDC government has done since they come in power. You could still tell me about pension, although NDC don't understand pension. The NIS is supposed to be the premier pension scheme. When it was designed, at that time they felt the 1958 pension that was solely funded by the government would eventually come to naught by natural attrition. And the NIS, the premier program, would remain. Unions generally supported them. But loophole was found in the law. And it was challenged based upon technicality. Now, if the government is advancing the view and arguing that that system is not sustainable, then why not the government increase the contribution to the NIS? Right now, the government will be funding 3 pension schemes for the next 30, 40 years. How that could make sense? How that could make sense? No good actuary in the world could advise you on that. Maybe you just dream something and do it. And secondly, the government removed the judiciary from the pension scheme. The government is convinced that this thing will bust. So they don't want the judiciary get on against them. So I think the government is deliberately contaminating the judiciary. The judiciary should publicly disassociate themselves from the pension. Don't walk away from it because you're getting money. But let the record show that you don't agree with the model. Because it seems that it contaminates the judiciary. You see, you have to be very careful with this Prime Minister Dick Mitchell, you know. He said morality is a private thing. The Prime Minister said morality is a private thing. Yes, caller, welcome.
I am the voice of one crying out in the wilderness for our parliament. Good afternoon, senior.
Go right ahead, Chief.
The Parliament House is one of the highest institutions in the land of Grenada, Carriacou, and Titimatnik. The House of Parliament is where our are made and laws are passed for the protection of our citizens. And over the past years, the House of Parliament was very much respected by all speakers of the House that passed and all Prime Minister. I repeat that the House of Parliament is one of the highest and respected house in the land. And there is no job in Parliament because the House of Parliament is a very respectable place where laws are made and passed for the protection of our citizens. I am proud to be a Grenadian. And every piece of constitution that guide the framework of our country are passed in our beloved Parliament. We thank the Right Honorable Dr. Kit Mitchell for championing the cause for one of the best structured Parliament House in the region. Take a bow, Dr. Mitchell. Take a bow. What I am noticing, senior, I remember under the new National Party, under the leadership of Dr. Mitchell, the House of Parliament was very much respective. If you're paying for, you cannot hear it, and you can attest to that. And I could remember the former Attorney General, Mr. Kajintan Hood. That guy used to wear some shoes, and when he walks, the shoes make noise like a clocks. And when he coming into the House of Parliament, I does admire how Mr. Kajintan Hood does tiptoe to come in because of the respect he have for the House of Parliament. What I notice presently right now, it appears to me as a citizen of Grenada, and Pity Matney, under this young Prime Minister, and under these young rookies who claim themselves to be parliamentarian with a lack of respect for our House of Parliament, it appears to me that our House of Parliament become a dog house and a playpen. No. That's the Parliament of Grenada, man. And Dr. Kit Mitchell has paved the way for many of you young people who occupy the House of Parliament today. He had paved the way for you, Deacon Mitchell. He had paved the way for you, Ron Redhead. He had paved the way for each and every one of all you who claim to be young parliamentarian today, and I'm speaking with a passion. And I see the lack of disrespect for our elders in the House of Parliament. Mr. Michael Pierre, and all this great guy who was Speaker of the House of Parliament. I want you all to take a bow comparing to what we have now. Mr. Leo Keto, with due respect to you, come out from that position, man. No respect for our elders. That last year, a young parliamentarian could tell Dr. Kit Mitchell to sit down and shut up. Give me a break, man. Dr. Kit Mitchell is one of the longest serving parliamentarian in Grenada, and Pidematic. This man has paved the way, and none of all you could never put all your foot in that man's shoe. He may have his faults, senior. He may have his way, but Dr. Kit Mitchell is an icon. He had made good provision for Grenadians. Stop disrespecting the man. And I'm calling to you, Mr. Leo Keto, and you, the Prime Minister, what recently happened in the House of Parliament, where one of your cameramen had invaded privacy. I don't know who he is, of Minister Kit Peters Lewis. I heard you spoke about it, Mr. Prime Minister, but you didn't condemn the action of that young photographer. You tried to defend that person. I need you to come forward and apologize and investigate the matter. And you, Mr. Leo Keto, don't compromise that. And I have one advice to give to all these young parliamentarians. The road that you all drive on, Kit Mitchell, the Parliament House, Kit Mitchell, the vehicle that many of you all drive, he has paved the way for many of all you. He has taken Grenada from the guttermost to the uttermost. And you, the Prime Minister, learn from Kit Mitchell and stop all you stupidness. Thank you, sir. And Avex.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be angry and you shouldn't be surprised, because this government introduced restorative justice, and its practicality on the ground, its workability, is vengeance and political victimization. This government will use money from housing for housing, and they put it under the ministry that was set up to implement the victimization program. The government embraced the Prince of Hate, the Iceman, and the most fractious motivational speaker in the country. No political organization should endorse some of the hate that come from these individuals. When I was advising to burn thousands of bags that was given as gift, when I was advising to choke on people that come in front to do, and to give them the elderly, put them on armchair and send them home. The government of Grenada is propagating classism. You look at the use of the language of the Prime Minister and others. Classless, commoners, beggy, good people, lunatics and idiots. That is a language that emanates from the top echelons of the NDC. Their hostility towards the elderly, the physically challenged, disadvantaged children, the Imani, and the temporary and supernumerary workers. I still hear the voice and the cry of Shirley Ann Robinson. She is now in Kajona Home for the Aged. That is why you hear her voice no more. I heard her cry repeatedly. This government showing gross insensitivity. So I'm not surprised that they've been spying on the opposition in the House. You see, they propagate disrespect against the elderly and against the members of the opposition of the worst kind we have seen in Grenada. So I'm not surprised. And I think they will get worse. This is the worst form of NDC we have ever had. You see how easy they flaunt the law of the GDB Bank and raid the bank. You see how easy they are comfortable with having the top members of the NDC as agents selling passport, with no one to do the check and balances for that. You see how easy and comfortable they are with Mr. Forrester. Set him up as the ambassador to the diaspora, and Abdrabi is well qualified to do. But at the same time, he is the mouthpiece and agent of the NDC. And you cannot do that two jobs together. And it seems that is all right for them. You go back in history and you remember 2008, 2013. Whenever the NDC panic, they go to selling Grenada assets. Yes, caller, welcome. Go right ahead, caller. Okay, we have some. Yes, caller, we hear you. We have some challenge with this caller. Try again. So I'm not surprised. I speak because I believe this trajectory the government going on is a wrong one. And if we let them go down that trajectory without complaining, without crying out for change, the next government that come in power going to feel comfortable to continue in that area. And that can be right. We are a small country in Grenada. And we don't need to do anything to fracture the very fabric of our society. We don't need to do anything. We need to reach out. People may say the Prime Minister is new. The Prime Minister is a lawyer. And lawyers' strongest talent is words. And the Prime Minister knows what he is doing. What he does is not in the interest of the people in the lower income group, but some of the people in the higher income group is comfortable with it because they're able to get money. We look at the excessive traveling, the clandestine traveling, and the secret and mysterious traveling. We appeal to the Prime Minister. Take the position of Minister of Foreign Affairs. There is no need to belittle Joseph Andal. Joseph Andal represents a constituency, and you're embarrassing the constituency. From the time Joseph Andal challenged you with the Samoa agreement, that is when you claim you didn't read the agreement. You lie. You read the agreement. Joseph Andal objected to it. And it seems that a third party, if the Prime Minister didn't authorize the signing of the agreement, we ask, who is the third party that directing Grenada foreign policy? Is it somebody from Dubai? Is it Dangote? Is it an assortment of people? That is the most fundamental flaw and challenge we have to deal with under the NDC. We fought too hard. Yes, caller, welcome. Too hard.
Hey, Mr. Pierre, how you doing, man?
Great man, good man.
Mr. Pierre, it's not only about connecting with Dog and Pierre. You know what is my problem with that Nigeria connection? No, it's too much evilness. You're talking about these politicians in Nigeria, human sacrifice for power. It's a lot of shit with them, man. And I have a problem with that, Mr. Pierre. That's the reason why we have so much problem in the country. Why this guy don't go and sacrifice Ken Jones and Eddie Fred? You can take out the plague on the country. I have a problem with this guy. This Nigeria thing, no. Too much witchcraft with the politicians. This guy did something causing so much problem in Grenada. I am convinced. Hey, my brother, hold it down. One love.
You see, we have to be concerned. We are a small country. And democracy in a small country, if we're not careful, could be snatched from our hands. You notice how easily somebody media that Deacon recognize as being objective is compromised. And Deacon is not engaging other media practitioners. He walking around with the camera, snapping him, and he have his own media house, and you just have to go back in history and recognize that sometimes, yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Good day. Mr. Pierre, why them people so hate? Man come out from Africa. Africa, all of us have Afghanistan. But yet still, they hate black people. They hate Africa. What African do you? You talk about Africa thing.
You're going low and going high. I don't know where you're calling from, but you have to keep the phone close to your mouth.
The man talking about African who do an Africa thing. The African there too. So I don't know what he's talking about. He's dreaming of. Mr. Pierre, I am proud to be African, and I support any African who was doing good for the country. I will fully support them. If the NFP hate them, I like them. Them NFP too hateful and Russian for going the backside. They don't, as I tell you before, the mechanism. This is my few months. Man, we studying a 3/4 over next year to improve infrastructure. That is money. That is what says we people. Because long live. Yeah.
All right, thank you, caller. One thing, I don't know if it's the wind or where you're calling from, but when you're speaking, you're kind of going up and down. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my
And
sister.
how are you
Great
today?
man, good man.
Watch this fellow out of Scotland. What he must go? What? Well, he just asked what you have with we have with the country. What he have with Kit Mitchell? Kit Mitchell open way for him to able to make $1 how he could. I wonder if he still did when Kit Mitchell was the dollars and them he was making. If he making it now. So what he have with the NNP too? That is what I want to ask him. And again, remember, look at where Deacon Mitchell have that country going. Remember, in the early time, what we don't even know, the same black men and them that sold over with poor parents to the so-called white people to enslave us. And it's right that they can head in fire again for us to mash up Grenada. Hey. Hello?
Yes, caller.
Yes.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
God bless. Right.
Yeah, we have always had and welcome good relationship with Africa. Nigeria is no new to Grenada. We had Nigerians in charge of the police force. So we are not against Nigerians. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
But I shouldn't call you Mr. Pierre. I should call you Dr. Pierre.
No, well, you could just call me anything you want.
No, I call you
Rum
Dr.
shop.
Pierre. I call you Dr. Pierre. Because that's who you are.
Well, I'm only a doctor in the rum shop.
No, I will tell you, give up that doctorship,
Yeah,
right? And take the real doctor,
Yeah.
right? Doctor of ability, doctor of mental capacity, right? Take it from me. When I give you that, it's from song analysis. Yeah? No. I am hearing a lot of sometimes. I like what I'm hearing, not on your side, but I like what I'm hearing on the other side, because my thing is people and the development, not the politics, not the rhetoric. So I like what I hear. But you know something? I would want us, including us, the government, to concentrate on growing the economy by at least 10%. Yeah? I am tired with hearing about the economy expected to grow by 2%, negative, 1.5% negative, 3% negative, 4% negative. All that to me is negative. 5% is negative. Because I am asking for specific, what exactly are you doing, are you going to do to grow the economy by 5%? Are you in the pocket of people? Then what are you doing outside of people spending? What measures do you put in place to cause people to earn so that you can grow the economy 5%? And 5% growth is not 5% road. It's not 5% building. It's not only 5% people. It is 5% real growth on the roads, the buildings, whatever, and the people, the finances. That is what we call real growth. And when you say you have a reserve after total expenditure based on your budget, you derive at 5% surplus that you don't have to spend. Then I will accept that you grow the economy 10%. And 5% is reserved after your expenditure doing your programs. I am tired with hearing this 5%, 5%, and things is getting worse. Costs are getting higher. We having more unemployment. We having more crime, but yet we're growing. What are we growing? How are we growing? Is people growing financially, economically? Are they growing? And the answer is no. Yes, I am conscious that we have little buildings going up here and there. Yeah? But that is not sufficient because the economy continues to, as they say, grow by 5%. Consistently, when the IMF say your economy is likely to grow by 3%, you say the economy grow by 3% at the end of your fiscal year. And the IMF say your economy is likely to grow by 5%. And at the end of your fiscal year, your economy grew by 5%. Now, who is running the country? Who is doing the management of your country? If when the IMF says something, that is what happening, who is the one that is running your country? And I want our leaders to take note of that. We, the citizens, are not that stupid. We maybe doesn't have the power to force them to do certain things. But on our behalf, they're supposed to get us off the ground. It is time. The young people are in trouble. The business people are in trouble. That's the reason why they cannot pay better salaries. We have to stop that. People have to, young people especially, have to be able to buy land at the market price today, because then, way back when they bought it at less than 1 cent per acre market price, today the market price is somewhere in the region of between $20, $25, $30 a square foot. The young people have to buy it at that value. Yeah? They have to build a house based on the market value. They have to have money in the bank based on the employment or whatever transaction they're going to do. Yeah? They have to marry expectantly and to take care of the children in secondary school. All this is dependent on the growth of the economy, the rapid growth of the economy. We have to, and I am demanding this because I am really, really tired. I didn't travel to earn what I have right in Grenada here, and I'm not that backward. But I should attain more if we had better leadership and better management. So I'm saying that on your program, and I want those who are listening to listen and to implement, because it's not listening and not putting things in place. Because we're stuck in theory, you know. We're stuck in certificate, but we're not able to practicalize this certificate to take this country from where it is. So we bribe, but we're not going anywhere. And I think I am saying this because it is time that somebody speak very seriously so that people can listen to shift this country. Things is getting harder, and we got to survive. What do you want to let go to the young people, a country that they cannot manage? No. So I hope those who are responsible listen, because I am a person who does not make joke. For those people who listen to me and think they call me crazy or whatever, let me tell you, they don't see no crazy in it. Yeah? I don't make joke. I don't laugh with life and laugh with people's well-being. I'm a yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm sending that message to our managers and leaders, the politicians especially, to get this country off the ground and stop saying about 5% and 3% or 2%, because to me, this is negative growth. Yeah? I'm expecting the economy to grow when they put measures in place based on the strategic plan. Is 10%. A senior economist told me when I asked him one day, do you think the economy can grow by 7, 8, and 9%? He says, yes. I said, well, why isn't it not growing? And he says, well, we don't want to heat it up. But let me tell you something. You didn't heat it up enough as well. We are heat up the economy. We can't continue running a poor country and also have to beg the IMF, beg the World Bank, and beg everybody for monies. No.
Yes.
Let the economy through commerce bring the monies with the effort of our people so we can spend to run this country. I want to leave it there for now, sir.
Yes, and I always believe that discussion have to be provoked. And that is a discussion that we need to have. How do we grow the economy? The ordinary man must understand this thing. When you say grow by 2%, 3%, and you realize it's a negative growth, you last year you fall by 5%, and this year you grow by 3%. That's a negative growth. So you want to grow the economy, and families must discuss the issue. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon to you.
Yes, man.
Yes, I have an idea.
Go right
Mr.
there.
Dangote is the richest man in the world. And the Prime Minister, Mr. Dangote, is so much a good friend. And if the Prime Minister cannot help the charity thematic people, now he could ask Mr. Dangote to help to put the roof on them people's head. And this man, I was listening, a record from Mr. Andrew. And I heard the Prime Minister was saying, he is the biggest seller in Grenada. But what I'm trying to tell the people and them that defending the Prime Minister, when he tell them, I hope they don't run through us. I hope they go and gather themselves for when he ready and Mr. Dangate, who say they love him, they like him, he could able to get them and don't run through the good people. Have a good day.
Yes, this is another powerful point. Dangote build 100 houses in Carrico. You're a multi-millionaire. You're the richest man in Africa are rich people. They have a lot of billionaires. 30, 40, 25 billion. They have a next one, Obayo, Gosinki, how they call him Mr. Airport. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, my brother.
Yes, there are some in this country that are trying to create the impression that Grenada has never been ruled by a left-wing political party. So the solution now is to organize a left-wing political party in order to control Grenada. We have to look back at the revolution. They were left-wing and they did the most destruction to Grenada. What Grenada needs is a God-fearing political party where every action that political party take, they first take into consideration that there is a God in heaven that they have to give account for the actions. Because these people and them, these socialists or whatever they call themselves progressives, these are parasites. When we look at what they did to this country in the past, under the Grenada United Labour Party, Grenada was progressing. And Grenada started falling back with the introduction of this communist socialist ideology in Grenada. Because when Grenada was closed down in 1974, I think, when they had all the strikes, Grenada was able to feed itself. We had a lot of agricultural produce in Grenada, a lot of animals, a lot of bananas, just name it, we had it in Grenada. And with all the strike, we were able to eat without a problem. Look at the state we are in now. Although the revolutionaries keep on trying to create an impression as though Grenada was making progress under the revolution, there were very little things that were being done during the revolution. It was more victimization. And since then, Grenada been going downhill, downhill, downhill. Because why? They introduced this thing about there is no God, right? They promote pure evil in this country. They divide the society. And what we are experiencing now is from that same cause, from that revolution. So what we need is to turn back to God, repent, this nation, turn back to God and do what is right. Look after the poor and needy in society so that Grenada could make some progress. Thank you, sir.
Yes, some very powerful points. And I just want to go back to the one, grow the economy. We have to grow the economy. The ordinary man, you who fall in the lower income group, and presently your income is less than $3,000 a month, you poor, you vulnerable, and you have to find out how the politician will grow the economy. Yes, caller, welcome. Caller, you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Punch.
Well, I want to congratulate you for a very good program yesterday, man. It was very interactive, and also today. This is why you didn't hear me as yet, because I give other callers a chance. Because what I have to say is, I had to ask your permission when you could accommodate me.
Punch.
Because I will be speaking on the points why we should get rid of this administration.
Give us a few.
I feel are capable.
Give us a few pointers.
Because number one, why we should not vote back this government into office. This government is not accountable. Two, they're not transparent. 3, they make a lot of false promises to the people of this country. 4, this government is a victimization government. It's one of the worst, I call it, because I said so yesterday, in victimization. 5, they favorism. They favorism to their own self. It might have who are other points, but I just name a few. So this is why I like the gentleman others call your program. Nobody else want to face up to your program because your program is a program of truth. And these people policy is to lie to the nation. So he have his belly. That guy, I really appreciate you just listen to him. I don't have no objection with hearing him because he always try to make his contribution. This is very good.
That is important.
Because all in this year, when I spoke to them and I asked them to challenge your program, they're backing out. And they have the reason for backing out to that program Target. Because Target is a program of talking the truth, of bringing facts to the people, so they rather keep away.
Yeah.
So anybody who have anything else to back up, I just name a few.
Thank you, caller.
Right,
Yeah.
thank you.
I think it's yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. Caller, we lost that one. Okay, please call back. We must discuss growing the economy. We must discuss growing your family wealth. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes,
Mr.
my brother.
Yes, sir. First of all, the Parliament yesterday, the Speaker said it was a special Parliament for special things. And he allowed persons to voice their opinion. And when somebody else from the opposition want to speak, he was trying to dictate to them that the program is not for that. And he told Miss Pierre he's going to allow she last to speak. She after she nobody speak on that topic again. And I day by day I see in this speaker as not a cooperative person. Because the speaker knew definitely he allowed other speakers to speak on other matters. But when he reached to her, he telling her that the parliament sitting is not for that. But you're going to allow she for the last. I think the speaker have to be able to do better than that. You can't be in the referee and you only blow in.
The speaker is the 12 man, not the referee.
Is it 12 man?
The speaker is a 12 man.
So I think he has to do better than that.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate.
Yeah, he really have to. He's doing it too plain out for people.
Yeah.
A little thing we even decided we could kind of close your eyes in here.
Yeah.
Because he told Miss our representative here, he told her that he didn't hear when she said big dog. He thought she said big dog.
Yeah.
He tell him no, not that she said.
And he apologized.
Yeah, he apologized to her. But when you replay it all over
the speaker is biased, blatantly biased.
Yeah.
And the speaker, perhaps you should have been an adult. So the speaker needs to change the attitude.
Yeah, I think he not. Anyhow,
Yeah.
the prime minister said that they're going to look into it, and he told the speaker that he have a right to
Would
investigate.
that mean they have been spying on other ministers too?
So let us hope that this thing doesn't lie die, and I hope Miss Kate don't let it die.
Okay.
Right. Last thing is we're talking about the economy. Now we talk a lot about housing, and they want more house bill and whatnot. But if we had to relieve the economy, housing wouldn't leave the economy. It's agriculture, it's other business, and we are allowing all the agricultural land to lie die. What's happening to Granba that they said was the best?
But I think I understand they're bringing about 70,000 banana plant and pine plant to plant on government estate.
I think they had the wrong approach, but and we have a lot of land that abandoned.
Well, government have to start the person. If government land habaka, no biology and bamboo, government have all the experts. They have real money. They have the workers. They have the technology. They don't work in the land. What are they for the private man?
And we can't expect farmers to get the price farmers have been getting workers are getting $60 a day. It's reasonable for the time being.
And the government could get green lake truck to pick their crops easier than the farmer.
And he have Mr. Dangoli with him.
Mr. Dangoli
could help us work some of the estates.
The richest man in Africa.
Yeah, he could help us.
Yeah, he have his sugar daddy.
So I'm hoping that the Prime Minister look in the right direction.
Yeah.
There's room for that.
Yes, scholar, thank you. Yes, I believe that families must sit down and discuss the issue. How do we grow the economy? And some families must even think about providing venture capital for their children. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my sister.
And Happy New Year to you. We haven't spoken yet for the New Year.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Pierre, I want to have a message I want to give. The new National Party, we are inviting and calling everyone in Carriacou and Petit-Martinique at the Arrival Conference room to listen to our new political leader, Mrs. Pierre, addressing we the people of Carriacou and Petit-Martinique at 6:30 p.m. Come and listen to our vibrant new political leader and listen to the message that she's going to deliver onto us. Remember, at the conference room in Carriacou at 6:30 p.m. We are waiting for our new political leader. All right. Thank you, Mr. Pierre.
Yes. So family members, all you have children going to school, start to have little meeting and talk. How would I grow my family income? Man and woman sit down and talk. Instead of making confusion and watching TV all day. How would I grow my income? And then perhaps in the villages, we could start to discuss how we grow the economy. And as a result of the contribution one column make about the left wing, Cuba must release the political prisoners. For the last 60 years, Cuba have people languishing in prison and dying in prison. The time has come for Grenada to call on Cuba to release all political prisoners and free the press. Remember, all the Grenadian communists in America and the cussing Trump and all kind of thing, they have freedom of expression. They never went in Cuba. Socialism has failed. The time has come for Cuba to release political prisoners. Yes, scholar, welcome. You're the last scholar for the day punch.
Well, yeah, people go say you're setting up this thing. Every time I'm the last caller. Mr. Pierre.
I know you like the last two callers.
Mr. Pierre, listen to this. The first time in the history of Grenada when we know that the ordinary man in Ticolo could have become a doctor. When we know the ordinary man in Lafayette could have become a scientist. The only time we realize that, a small island like Grenada could do certain things and the people, have the capacity to do certain things was in the revolution. Like it or not, there are some things about the revolution that wasn't good. But the revolution is that was the first time when we realized, listen, Grenada could be a successful agricultural state if we plan things properly. Now, the other thing is this, Mr. Pierre. I must tell you that the issue with the recent issue in Parliament with Ms. Kate Lewis, I must agree, it is totally unacceptable, and the response to date is very low key, which shows a high level of political immaturity. We must get to the bottom of this incident and hold those who is responsible accountable and put things in place to ensure that it doesn't happen again. Now, Mr. Pierre, you talk about communists and socialists and all this kind of things. I want to say to some people, if sin is sin, based from a biblical standpoint, tell me where the socialist pelting stone are the Democrat, or where the Democrat pelting stones are the communists. Tell me. Now, Mr. Pierre, listen to this. The country that made the greatest economic transformation in the history of mankind in the last 70 years is not a democratic country. The country that moved the largest number of its citizens from poverty into the middle class is not a democratic country. The country that becomes the production center of the world is not a democratic country. The country with the greatest improvement in science and technology is not a democratic country. The country with the greatest engineering and ingenuity is not a democratic country. The question I'm asking today, is there something we can learn from such a country, which is China, that can help to improve our situation and circumstances here? From time to time, I hear people reference Singapore. I've been there. They reference Singapore based on the size and its success. We must leave Singapore out of the question because we are not disciplined enough in terms of taking the country like Grenada from where it was even close to where Singapore are today. Have a pleasant day, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother. This topic is, I like the last part of the topic, and I would love to engage in more discussion on it, healthy discussion. But I want to also press that the time has come for Grenadians to call for the release of political prisoners in Cuba and freedom of the press in Cuba. And I also want to express solidarity with Simon Says. She has been, that sister has been intimidated with drones. Her call for the police has fell on deaf ears, and I don't think it is right. When you listen to the call of some of the NDC main political speakers who are asking to shut down radio station, jail radio personalities, and hang people, you listen to the intimidation that is put out against Simon Says. And now you see the spine of individuals in politics, in parliament. We are going down a wrong trajectory. Remember, the pendulum could swing, it could come back like a boomerang. So we need to speak out and call on the government to cease and desist. Thank you very much for being with us today. We're back with you tomorrow for another program of On Target when you have the opportunity to punch.
For a better land of people who can understand.